we have a guest. We have someone who I'm so excited to have joining us this morning on Inspire, Nikko Smith. Listen, I have been following Nikko on social media for a good while now. And I said to him this morning before we went live, I said, I need your help. I think I had more fashion sense when I was younger, but now, like, my body is different. I feel like a little more awkward, right? So I've been kind of struggling. I'm challenged a little bit in the area of trying to figure out what looks good on me, what suits my personality. And so I'm so excited to have Nikko here with us today to tell us a little bit. And this is good for May and Mental Health Awareness Month to kick it off, right? He's a digital creator, style expert, fashion educator, whose work is empowering women everywhere to embrace their authentic selves and to celebrate their bodies. And so as we prepare to meet Nikko, let's take a look at him in action.
This brown is going straight into her skin. So it's not lighting her up, it's not making her look alive. With this green, let's see how she livened up. This is perfect for her because we have this detail on the sleeve now, which will normally make her shoulders look bigger, but that's why we balanced it out with this excessively dramatic pen, okay? And we have the print on the pen, so it's all about where you want to give your visual interest, okay?
Good morning, Nikko.
Morning.
Thank you so much for joining us today. That was one of my, that particular video, I think was one of the first ones that I actually liked, especially because you saw the difference immediately, how the color just brightened her up. She looked like a completely different person.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Yeah, and so thank you so much for all of the work that you are doing to empower women. And listen, if you have a question or a comment for Nikko, hey Instagram, if you have a question or comment for Nikko, please put it inside of the chat because we want to make sure that he gets the opportunity to answer them before we end our conversation today. So Nikko, what you got? What you drinking? I know you had water. What kind of water?
Ozarka. That's all I got. Nothing special.
Okay. Is it good?
It's quite refreshing, truly. Yes.
Okay. Is it like alkaline or?
Child, no. It's just regular from the what they say, proudly Texan from the natural spring water.
So thank you for sharing what you were sipping on. So you have this amazing, incredible ability, right, to help women not find clothes that they love, right? Because I've seen somewhere they actually go into their closets, right? You're pulling things from their closets, and that helps them to feel like more confident, right, in who they are. So when did you first realize? Right? Well, first of all, how did you get into this work and helping women in particular find their style and gain confidence?
It was a journey. So fashion honestly was not my first passion, if you will. It was actually music, and I was going to travel the world and sing all of the houses down. But that was something that I was struggling with because I did enjoy fashion, but I also was actively doing music. So I was not able to successfully do both at the same time. So I went on a spiritual fast with a friend and I asked God, I said, which way should I go? Should it be music or fashion? And then during this week of fasting, 3 different people that did not know each other said that fashion would open music doors. And literally ever since all of those conversations, I stopped doing music the way that I was doing it, because even now in my content, I still sing just to let the people know, you can still call me for a little 1, 2, 2.
Yeah.
But I've been actively doing music. And since then, a lot of my clients have been in music, whether they're artists or writers or some type of capacity, I'm still in music. And so I noticed that there was a gap in fashion as far as people always equating stylists to celebrities. And I've always wanted to debunk that myth, because you don't have to have a lot of money necessarily. You do need to know that it is an investment, but you don't have to be rich and famous. So I wanted to, one, make fashion accessible to all women. But then taking it a step further, I noticed that it was more than just fashion. It was really a confidence thing, because even when you look good, you don't always feel that way. So it starts with the mentality. And I wanted to really teach people how to understand fashion for themselves and not be so focused on what the world is doing, because that doesn't always look like you. So I want you to be in tune with who you are, and that starts with your personality, that starts with your body, because nobody knows that better than you. So I want to teach you the fundamentals of how to make yourself look the best you can at all times.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And so what clicked in your brain? Like, what was the catalyst that helped you to realize that personal style could be a tool for empowerment?
When I started doing my first closets and seeing how many women were so attached to their clothes, like it was like debilitating attachment. It's like, this is not healthy for you to be this attached to a t-shirt, especially that you are not wearing. And it would be, you know, it's from a loved one, or it's from a trip that we did years ago, which is great. It's sentimental, but it doesn't necessarily need to hold space in your closet, because your closet is for things that you're actually pulling for. They're for things that you actually love and that make you feel your best. So I always recommend just putting those to a special drawer or somewhere that is outside of your closet, so that you can really make room for the right things. And when these women are transformed in something that actually works for them, for their body, for who they are, and their confidence transforms, like that's really how I got into fashion. First of all, my mom used to take me shoe shopping, right? When she was buying shoes, and I would always see women try on heels and how their whole posture and walk changed in a heel. And I was like, how they do that? What is it about that shoe that changed the whole trajectory of your walk? You know? So I wanted to do that in wardrobe, because if you can do that with the shoe, imagine what you can do with some pants and a shirt and some makeup and hair. So we're going to transform it all.
Yeah. Thank you. Joy says that she struggles with that. And I think many of us who are watching today struggle, and who will catch this in the replay, we don't want to leave any of you out, are struggling with it. And so I'm so glad that you are here listening to Nikko today. Yeah, Joy says, keeping things I don't really wear. Same. You know, I think we get it honest. we get that honest. So authenticity, you talk a lot about authenticity, and I think, you know, and I shared it before we went live, and, you know, talked a little bit about it once we went live, that I'm kind of struggling, right? Authenticity is something I've struggled with in my own personal style. So in my head, like, I'm either a rocker chick, you know, I'm a little eccentric, you know, even though like my favorite color is black, like in my head, like I'm wearing all these funky types of clothing, right? But those outfits, like when I try to put it together, it never hit, right? It never hit like I imagined. And then, you know, I said I was awkward, right? So I'm tall, I'm 5'11", I'm flat-footed, I'm, you know, I got a 12 wide, you know, shoe, like I'm pear-shaped with a belly. So all of this, you know, is contributing right now to like, what is my style now? How, and I know I'm not alone in that feeling. And so for someone who is like me, who's kind of starting to feel overwhelmed, right? Or stuck, stuck in a style that they don't enjoy, right?
Yes.
Where would you tell them to start?
Well, shameless plug, I would tell them to start with me. I would tell them to book a Silhouette Savvy consultation, which is a consultation where I help you find exactly what your body type is. So we do measurements of all the places that we need to measure. And then we dissect your personality. Before I even get into what you should wear, what colors work best for you, I ask you who you are. Because if you can't tell me who you are, then that obviously means that you're not going to know what you want to wear. So I need to it's really like therapy for fashion is what I always say. I'm a style therapist also, if you will, because we really have to get down to the root of where you started to derail with your style, who told you that you couldn't wear what you want to wear, And we have to kind of break all of that down and unlearn what you've accepted thus far. And you can now be in charge of your own style narrative. So tell me that you like color and prints and patterns. So when I go to your closet and I see a lot of black and gray, I see that there's a disconnect, and we get to the root of how you need to incorporate these colors and where to place them. So you say that you're a pear body type. So that means that we need to place the color on our upper body and not overall your lower body, because we want to bring interest to your upper. So it's strategic, but once you learn the fundamentals of it all, it really becomes easier, and you'll see what works for you, and you won't want to go back to what you used to do.
Oh goodness, this is so good. Listen, I hope everybody signs up for this. I know I'm signing up for it because I need it. And you stepping on my toes with the whole closet disconnect thing. So I listen. You're stepping on my toes. It's all right. Hey, Allie. Good morning. My other sister is on. Thank you for joining us. So you have this thing called you have an initiative called Style Class, right? So what inspired you to create it, and how does Style Class help folk embrace their style journey more fully?
Yeah, so Style Class is something that came honestly from my out of some rebuttal. I didn't want to do it. I was hesitant. Showing up on social media was something that I was fighting for the longest. So shout out to a great community, because they were like, you really got to show the people love your personality, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, that's cute. But I just enjoy dressing people up, and you look at my work, you don't necessarily have to see me. But I knew that was not where I could stay for the longest. So I made my first video, and it was about body types. And that was essentially the beginning of Style Class. And I wanted to call it Style Class because obviously we're talking about style, but also I'm teaching you, and I want it to be fun. I know that oftentimes people give a lot of information, but it's given in such a serious way that you don't retain it. So I like to kind of blend entertainment with education, so that even if you don't remember what I said, you remember how I said it. Yeah. And that's going to keep you together in your own personal wardrobe. So I call it Style Class because it's meant to teach women how to master their style for their specific body type and personality. I'm always very aware that nobody is the same mentally, physically, all the things. However, there are 5 main body types. So even if you have a different quirk for your own body, overall, it simply means this or this. And we can kind of start to play around and create the illusion of the body that you want. Because you don't always have to have the body that you want, but clothing can make it look like you do. And that all comes with knowledge.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Hey, Rhonda, thank you for joining us. My body and personality. Listen, we are having a conversation with the amazing Nikko Smith. If you have a question, please post it in the chat. Nikko will answer them. Nikko will respond to them. So yeah, all of you and if you haven't already shared, please go ahead and share. So I love from what you've already said, and for what I've seen on social media, your work isn't about fixing. Correct. Right? Your work isn't about fixing anyone, but having them embrace who they already are. So you have an ebook called The Body Type Blueprint. Yes. Can you help us? Tell us a little bit about that book.
The Body Type Blueprint is literally the blueprint for your body. It is something that I needed to create to be an extension of what I'm already doing on social media, because everybody doesn't have Instagram, first of all. Sometimes you might not have Wi-Fi. So if you want to get dressed, what if you can't watch my video? So it's really something that you can download and have in your possession at all times. So when you go shopping, pull up your book. When you go to your closet, pull up your book. And it's really step by step on what colors, what silhouettes work for each body type. What would you wear for a specific personality? It dissects all of the personalities so you can kind of see which one resonates with you the most. Are you romantic? Are you classic? Are you feminine? Whatever the case may be. And it lists out, this person wears floral print. She wears chiffon. And that kind of helps you get into a groove of what to look for when you go shopping. And then once you know what to look for, you can try on the right things to see what colors you like. Once you know what colors you like, you can start to buy the right. So it's just a ripple effect. Once you know what you're looking for, you start to have fun with putting it together.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So how would you, well, see, you haven't looked in my closet yet, so. You haven't looked in my closet, but I do want to get, test you a little bit.
Okay.
So we've just met,
Yes.
right? This morning. So what would you think my type of style would be?
What it would be or what you want it to be?
Well, what would you envision?
Okay, well, based off of your personality and the color of your lip and your nails, I really feel like you would give us a lot of color and a lot of pattern mixing, okay? And being that you have a shaved head, I would see that we would play with a lot of accessories. That's what I would envision, okay? But you have this black tailored blazer on, and you already said your favorite color is black, which I do find quite interesting, being that your personality seems to give the opposite.
Well, let me tell you something, and my sister Allie can attest to this. These nails, this is not normal. And so what happened was my partner was like, stop getting like dark colors. Like I would get black on my nails or whatever. She said, your personality is not that. You're not a black person. So now I'm experimenting more. See, look at it. She says shocking. My sister's like shocking because I would never.
Okay.
I would always do like a neutral color, something like that. Something that kind of blends in with everything. But actually, I'm really, really enjoying. Like I enjoy how this pops off my skin.
Yes, that's what color does.
Yeah. So So yeah. So I'm trying. I'm trying to kind of bring my inner personality out. And I think that part of the reason why that's a struggle for me is that I tell anybody all the time, I kind of struggle with depression sometimes. And even low self-esteem, like there's things, right? There's things, voices, that tell me that I don't, like I don't look good or whatever, things that most women kind of go through. And so it's been hard for me to kind of, and I'm plus size, I'm a big girl, right? And so coming up, it's like, okay, well, you could only wear certain colors, or you should only wear certain types of patterns because to minimize your thickness.
Yes.
All right. And so that's something like I have to get. I love you too, Pastor Joyce. That's something that I have to kind of move away from. And I'm seeing like how all of these influencers on social media, like, man, like, she's a big girl, she's thick, and but she looks so good in those colors. And so so I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Yeah.
All right, keep working on it. So you will definitely get there, even by starting with something as little as your nails. I always say start small. We can have a grand vision, but it takes time to get there, especially when you have years of things that you're unlearning. So start with your nails, start with a bag, start with some earrings, some socks, even like something to start to get you out of your normalcy, and you will kind of have fun with it. Because I too relate to the wearing black. Even though I have on color right now, I typically am wearing a lot of black and neutrals as well. That's not necessarily because I like it more, but for me, it's easy. And I'm always going to go. And I know that for a lot of women, they wear a lot of black because it goes with everything. It's easy, but that's how we get lazy. And we don't really get to the style potential that we want to.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. So grateful that you were here today. Joy says, what is a rule of thumb to follow for how long to keep something if you haven't worn it?
If you have not worn it in over a year, it's time to go.
Over a year?
Over a year.
Now I heard it used to be 2 years.
Not quite. It's a year, but 2 years sometimes depending on the season of the piece. Sometimes you might live in a place where you have a fur jacket, but it don't get that cold. So, sometimes it depends. But also, if you are in a place that it don't get that cold, why are you buying that fur jacket? So it just, the rule is technically a year.
So for someone like me who, I work from home, right? When I was working for corporate America, of course, like, I would tend to kind of wear, suits or whatever. And buy a lot more clothing because, you know, I was going out every day, right? But I work from home.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I have stuff in my closet that I haven't really worn, but that's only because I haven't really gone out to.
Yes.
Like, I don't go out as much. So for someone like me, would that still be the same rule? Would it be like if you have not touched that piece in a year, to get rid of it? Or, you know, can I get a little wiggle room?
Yeah, I think you can get a little wiggle room, but it also depends on what your goal is with your wardrobe. Because even though you have not worn those pieces and you're not going out, do these pieces still resonate with you all this time later? Can you still fit them? Do they match the aesthetic that you're trying to go for going forward? So all those questions would still lead me to believe that this is a keep or a no piece.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We are going to take a break for you to get a sip of water. And I see Ali has a question, so we'll have you answer that when we come back from our break. Thank you so much, Nikko. And we'll be right back with some more amazing conversation with Nikko Smith. So thank you again for joining us this morning. We're having such a good conversation, and I love the engagement. Keep posting your questions. In the meantime, I want to remind you to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. We're at Inspired with Sue W on Facebook and on Instagram. If you want to follow me personally, that's Sue A. Webley everywhere. Also, I invite you to head over to our website at www.getinspired.live. That is where you can watch all of our previous episodes, find out a little bit more about the show, and also subscribe to our newsletter. Okay, there's some wonderful things happening with Inspire. We don't want you to miss a thing, so please go ahead and subscribe. Are you or someone you know on a mission to create change while inspiring others to do the same? We want to hear from you. We want you to join us in conversation on a future episode. So again, you can head over to our website at www.getinspired.live. You can book your appearance on our website. So go to the Be Our Guest tab, fill out that information, and a member of our team will connect with you. Now, listen, it's something new. It's called the Overflow, and it is a reflection of what has taken place in the show, because sometimes things still sit with me, right? Even after the show ends. And so every week on Mondays, we will have the Overflow, and I want you to come. We'll have it on our website. I want you to come and visit, listen, and comment, right? What stood out for you about the show? What did you learn? How can you apply it to your everyday life? So join me on Mondays for the Overflow. Also for Cara Solutions, doing something special for Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm doing a series called Brilliant Not Broken. Brilliant Not Broken. And this is for neurospicy entrepreneurs. Okay. If you're neurospicy, if you have ADHD, you have anxiety, if you're autistic, however you are different, right? And gifted, this series is for you. A lot of us who are neurospicy have been made to feel like we are broken, right? And so I just want you to join me. You know, I get really personal and vulnerable and transparent. And I want you to kind of do that with me. So please, it's streaming right now. Let's look for the Confident Navigator on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Spotify, YouTube Music, all of the podcasting platforms. Also, I'm going to do this every single Saturday until Yanni gets a kidney. Okay, so Pastor Yanni, some of you know Yanni as the Peace Pastor, Reverend Yanni. However you know Yanni needs a kidney. She's been trying to get a new kidney. I think it's over a year now. And we want to gather in community as much as we can to assist her. So she's in search of potential donors who are fairly healthy, who have the blood types A or O, and the courage to commit to surgery and help save her life. She would love to share the safety measures with you. And if that's not you, if you can't donate, but you have a resource, you have somewhere that you can connect her to, someone to talk to, please that works too, right? That works too. So contact Yanni at peacepeopleinc@gmail.com. That's to contact her and her family directly, or you can head over to emerylivingdonor.org, fill out that survey, and enter her name, Ayana Davis. All right, we're going to get back into some more conversation with the amazing Nikko Smith.
If you don't know yourself, you will believe anything that anybody tells you. That's a dangerous place to be because that leaves you lacking your own identity. It's not always that you put on a nice outfit and you are who you want to be. Sometimes you do it to get to who you want to be. And the more you do that, everything just becomes easier. You are not your insecurities. You are beautiful regardless.
Yes, you better find all of the videos.
That really spoke to me. You are not your insecurities. I need that on a t-shirt, right? I just need that on a t-shirt because many of us feel like we are, right? Our insecurities it are our identity, right?
Yeah.
And so what inspired that video?
Everything that I do, it starts with my experience with women in my life, but also my experience with me. People look at experts as if we have it all together. And I try to just come in and be real about every single thing because I don't. That's why I got into fashion, to help others build their confidence, but it also in turn helps me build mine because I'm very slim. And that has always been a thing of my past. Like people always say chicken legs, all the things. And that's part of the reason why you're going to always see me in wide leg pants now. So it is a form of hiding my legs, but also it's a form of making me feel my best self and confident. And so playing with silhouettes on myself also builds my confidence, and I see how that helps me. And that's how I kind of got into doing it for other women, because it's like we are truly not our insecurities. And when we learn how to embrace them and work against them instead of have them make us hide, then we will really show ourselves that we can do much more than we think we're capable of.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So Allie says, she said she's the opposite of me. But she said what she would typically like, she doesn't like how it fits her. Okay. So what would you suggest?
Well, the question would be, are you wearing it for your body type? Is it the right silhouette? Because that could be the start of why it's not looking right on you, because it doesn't complement your shape. It could be something that has a lot of volume on top, but you might already be busty up top. So we don't want to put volume on volume. So that's my first question. It's kind of hard to answer that without seeing her, but I would say make sure that it is something that flatters you and it's something that fits you. Because sometimes we think that oversized is the same thing as too big. Those are two different things. So we got to make sure that we're looking for the right silhouettes.
Yeah. So she is taller than me. And so we really are opposite. It's like the dish that ran away with the spoon. It's really opposite. So thank you for answering that. Maya says, this is interesting. I often dress baggy and militant to avoid attention and work drama. I always cover myself with long sweaters. How can I find a look that would help minimize my curves?
We getting into it, are we? As we should. Help you minimize your curves. Okay, so baggy is a great thing to do for sure. And also things that have volume other places. So instead of finding something that fits your hips, maybe it can flare at your hips and fit the leg at the bottom, so it's all an illusion of where you want to place the attention. So I always say when you get dressed in the morning, think about what parts you want to accentuate. If you know that it is not your legs, then that means that we need to wear a wide leg pant and maybe something that's more fitted up top, because regardless, we still want to always create shape. We might not always want to show our curves, but you can still have a shape without being overly sexy or overly seductive with your style of dress.
Thank you for responding. Maya, I hope that helped. Again, go ahead, all of you. And if you have any more questions for Nikko, please feel free to ask them. So we are kicking off Mental Health Awareness Month. And so we've already discussed how style can uplift us, mentally, right?
Mhm.
Not just physically. What are some of the things that you do to support your mental health?
Mm. Well, always talking to the Lord first and foremost. I'm in therapy now, and that has been helping quite a bit. It took me a long time to get there, but we're here. And when I say turning it around for me, absolutely. Okay. And then I'm also freshly in the gym. It's really a new season of things for me. Like I'm starting new with all the things. I've never been in therapy before, but that's helping me. Gym has always been a love-hate relationship, but I've been consistent in that. So all of these things are really helping me, and also music. So I still sing and write in my private time, but also just listening to others' creations, that really just keeps me grounded and ready to take on the world.
Yeah. So let's talk about what how you stay grounded a little bit. You, as a celebration of your success, right? So you've
Yeah.
been in major publications. You've been featured in Essence and Sheen and in Style. You were even on the Today Show. So with all of that success, how do you stay grounded and true to your mission as your platform grows?
It's always the why. I have always had a thing of where great things happen, but it never really, I know that great things are happening, but it's like I never really be like, oh, that's my great thing. Because I don't think that it's about me. I think that I am just the face, I'm just the vessel of doing it through. But I don't think that this is the Nikko show. I think I'm really on a mission to reach as many women as I possibly can through social media, through television, through my ebooks, however I reach them. But I know that confidence is a universal issue, that even with celebrities, it's not just here in Dallas, it's everybody struggles with some form of insecurity, some form of confidence, even the people that you look up to. So I think that it's really important to get to the root of that, because that helps style, but that helps your life in general. That helps you walk into rooms better and taller and be more confident when you speak. So, I mean, I'm just doing what I got to do to help the people. And if that means on TV, I'm grateful, because I'll live for that. I want to be on that, and I will be, but it's not about me, that's all.
Yeah. So let me backtrack a little bit. You talked about, you talk to the Lord, you're
Yeah.
in therapy. What are some other things that you do for self-care?
hmm
How do you take care of you?
Well, I also have an esthetician now, so I get a lot of facial
Oh,
massages.
facial.
And I honestly am home a lot. If I'm not working, I'm at the house. So that's really my time to reset. I also have a very quick social bar. Like when it's filled, all right, I got to step away. So I'm making sure that I'm always aware of when I have been a bit too social and that it's time to recharge. So I always come home and I give me some good food, watch a good movie, and I chill. No social media either. Like if I'm not having to post something, I'm not one to scroll aimlessly. I really just keep my head clear, because none of it is real anyway, on social media, that is. So I focus on the mission and put out what I got to put out to make sure everybody is helped. And after that, I'm gonna make sure that I'm good over here too, so I can keep showing up for y'all in the best way I can.
Yeah. And we're so glad about it. If you could style anyone in the world, past or present,
Mhm.
who would you say is on your dream client list?
I have two people, Kiki Palmer and Coco Jones are my top two right now. Both of them are my best friends in my head, so I'm ready for it.
All right, Kiki and Coco.
Coco and Nikko, huh? See it go
And
together.
listen, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. So Kiki and Coco, I need y'all to hit Nikko up so that make his client dreams come true. So before we close and go, thank you so much again for joining us. What is next for you? You're already doing so much, but what's next on the horizon for you, and how can we support you?
Well, next on the horizon is just pushing more of this body type content. So my goal is to have my own show. So think like all of the what not to wear and the fashion police, all the things like that, but in an encouraging and inspiring way. So truly what you see on Instagram, but on television. That's the goal. So I actually just had my television debut on Tuesday. So prayerfully, that is the start of what's about to happen. So just keep doing what you're doing for me and supporting. So following and liking and sharing, having me on your platform, all of this is helpful. And I'm so grateful to be here, truly.
Where can the people find you?
They can find me on Instagram at say.nico. TikTok is the same. And my YouTube is The Style Couch, which is my talk show that is also coming back. So stay tuned for that.
Listen, I'm so excited. I will, be looking out for that so I can tune in. Joy says, please style Clarissa Shields. No shade. Love her, bud.
All right, Clarissa, hit me up.
Well, hopefully Clarissa wants to be styled.
Absolutely. She gives me very confident and she got it and she's that girl. So hey, like I said, it's the mindset. So if she believes that, it's true. And we don't got nothing to say.
Well, Nikko, thank you again for joining us today and for reminding us that style is so much more than what we wear. It is a reflection of our wellness, right? It tells our stories and it enhances our strength, right? Our power. And so I'm so grateful for you. And to all of you who have watched on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Instagram, and who will catch this in the replay. If today's conversation encouraged you, don't keep it to yourself. Do me a favor and share it. And make sure you tag us when you share, tag #inspire, right? And let someone else feel seen today. And so until next time, as always, I want you to stay lifted. I want you to stay motivated. And most of all, I want you to stay inspired. I look forward to seeing you next week.